We've recently seen how Phoenix received several buffs, making him a valuable pick even in professional play. Welcome back to Esports Driven, and in this video we'll not only break down how to play Phoenix the right way, but also showcase the exact tricks that professional Phoenix players are using during tournaments. Let's get straight into it. Phoenix has always sat down when it comes to pick rate in both pro play and ranked. He has been a weak agent compared to the rest, but recently Riot has buffed Phoenix in several ways. So is he a valuable pick now? In order to understand that, let's first discuss how Riot intended players to use Phoenix and see in which ways we can make the most value of his abilities. Phoenix's kit makes him capable of solo entering a site, making him an amazing pressure power on the enemy's defense line. He's also an incredible pick for those who value aggression but still want to play passively in certain situations. But how can we use his utility in the right way? His first ability is Blaze, which is Phoenix's flame wall. This ability allows you to form a wall that blocks the enemy vision while dealing damage to them if they try to cross it. You can also use it for healing yourself by standing inside of it. It's incredibly versatile due to the fact that you can curve it and adjust it how you want your wall to be, making the site entry much easier. Let's take an example of how you can use the firewall to help yourself enter the site more efficiently. As you can see, the wall is very good for blocking a portion of the site to isolate fights, making it much easier to win your duels on site without having to worry about multiple enemies at the same time. It's also a great option to combine your flashes with your walls. This makes it harder for the enemy to read which route you're going for. Another trick is that Phoenix's wall can go through objects if you set it above them. Here's an example of how you can use your Phoenix wall to go through objects, which also helps to isolate fights. Next, let's have a look at his flashes. After the buffs, the Phoenix curveball is arguably too strong. It is quite fast and extremely hard to dodge. In most cases, it'll blind the enemies since they won't have time to react. But how can we get the most benefit out of these flashes? Well, firstly, you should always try to be unpredictable. And that means you shouldn't expose yourself before flashing because that will draw the enemy's attention, and at higher ranks they'll most likely expect it and play anti-flash. You can always surprise peek with a flash through the common spots on every map. Let's take Haven for example. These flashes are usually common angles that players use to flash their enemies. They are mostly basic spots, but it gets the job done, and it's useful to know where you should use your flashes if you're a beginner. While most people just use the flash in its more simple way, there's also more advanced ways to use his flash. One of these examples is to treat your Phoenix flash similar to a KO flash. In this method, you can peek at the same time as you throw your flash, putting the enemies into a situation where they have to dodge and give you their back or try to fight through the flash. Another great use of a Phoenix flash is through smokes. It's a great way to initiate an attack to a bomb site after the enemy team has smoked you off the site. Also, you can mix up the height of your flash. By flashing high or low, you'll make it harder for the enemies to see the flash coming, therefore making it very difficult to dodge. When it comes to using your molly, there are multiple uses for it that can help you drastically in-game. Unlike any other molly in the game, Phoenix can heal himself using the molly, making him self-sufficient. But that isn't the only use for Phoenix's molly, as you can easily use it to block enemy choke points to stop them from retakes, or throw it to assist your site entry by clearing cubbies and forcing the enemies to reposition, giving you the advantage in the fight. And since it's a molly, like any other, you can create lineups for it. However, Phoenix's molly has a limited range since it drops shortly after being thrown, preventing long-range lineups like with Viper or Brimstone mollies. Let us know if you'd like a video in the future showing useful Phoenix molly lineups for different maps. An important question that many players come across when playing Phoenix is, should you prioritize using your molly to heal yourself or to help initiate an attack round? Well, it depends on your team's attack/defense plan. If you plan to push into a bomb site directly, you should always use your molly to assist not only you but your entire team. But if instead you play default where you mainly try and pick the enemies off, you should save your ability to heal yourself later on in that round. Don't forget you can use your Phoenix wall additionally to gain extra healing. A great way to use your molly while pushing is to clear corners that you know defenders might be hiding in. Phoenix's ultimate Run It Back is an extremely powerful ultimate when used in the right way, since it basically lends you an extra free life. Once you activate your ultimate, you'll be given 10 seconds to freely aggress and do whatever you want without losing your life. In addition to that, you'll regain all your health and have your gun reloaded once your ultimate is over. However, you always need to make sure that you're in a safe spot before using it, as if you're not, enemies can sneak up behind you and kill you once your ult is over. An ideal usage for the ability is when you're trying to retake or push a site and take complete control over it. Keep in mind, as soon as enemies hear your ultimate go off, they will most likely try to avoid taking fights against you unless they're forced to, which is where it becomes tricky. If you were ulting to get some kills or trades, you'll need to sneak in to make the enemies wonder where you're coming from. Make sure to utilize your ultimate when it comes to map signatures, such as TPs on Bind make Phoenix's ultimate very powerful, as you can surprise the enemies by ulting and TPing to the other side, taking fights. We've talked about Phoenix and his abilities. How about we demonstrate some combos that professional players run in their games to see what it's like to maximize Phoenix's kit? Starting by a common push that TSM Sub Rosa performs on Ascent A main. That's a perfect example of how to combine your abilities to make up a successful pushing strategy. Here we see Sub Rosa using his molly to block the enemies off pushing, using that space to sneak up against the wall and throw a flash to catch the enemies off guard. He gets one kill and finds the second, throws a high flash to once more catch the enemy off guard and gets the kill. Then he finishes it off with the flank kill on Omen on top of the box. A very simple and easy execute to be hookah on Bind using Phoenix. You start off by simply aiming at the bottom left of the satellites. As soon as the walls drop, do a jumping throw molly and walk your way up to hookah. Your left corner will be mollied and this will ease your focus at clearing the right side. Then you can wall against the box with a curve to isolate the site. Flash and jump into the site and that's an easy entry for you. Now let's take a look at this execute on Pearl B site. By mollying the corner, you clear anyone who's potentially hiding there, giving you the space to push forward and focus on other angles. As you get closer to the wall, use your blaze wall in a straight line as if you were walking into site, and then flash through your wall to catch the defenders off guard. This will create a lot of chaos which your team can take advantage of to fully pick off the enemies and take control of the site. Since Phoenix is a duelist, it's crucial that your aim is on point on every map, and the best way to achieve consistency is to make sure to have a very strong warm-up routine. Since it's so important, we've created a detailed guide on how to properly warm up before your games. You can check it out by clicking the video on screen. If you enjoy our content, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.